Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. Now, in this video, I'm also going to talk about the Great Reset. I like to do that every once in a while to keep people awake to this. So let's take a look. What the hell? What are we doing? More World Economic Forum influence? The Great Reset is expensive. Biden pledges U.S. taxpayers will pay South Africa $8 billion to shut down their coal power plants. Now, first off, I don't feel we should be sending money anywhere. We have homeless people here in the U.S. We have veterans that aren't even being taken care of, and they went out and fought for our country. On top of that, we already know any money that leaves the U.S. somehow ends up getting laundered and comes back to the Democratic Party. I don't trust any of this in any way, and we shouldn't be telling the rest of the world what to do. Look we used the US dollar as a weapon. Where did that get us? Now we have countries pulling away from the US dollar. Look at the BRICS. Look what's going on there. Anti-chippers are the latest group of awful people we now have to worry about. As if these troubling times haven't already encumbered us with enough challenges. They're paranoid, don't believe in science. Many have white supremacist tendencies, and most importantly, they want to know that microchip implants are super duper scary. They're anti-chippers, and they've got literally dozens more brain cells than your average anti-vaxxer. So what's their deal? Now, I'm never taking the chip. And the thing is, we know this is going to come after you get the CBDC, then the digital ID, then the social credit score, then the chip. And they're already trying to push this up in Canada. So if you don't want to get the mark of the beast, then you're an anti-chipper now. And a lot of people feel that way about the chip. They don't want to take it for any reason. And they shouldn't have to. It should not be one of those things they force upon people. But you could bet if you want to buy things in the future, you'll have to take that chip. We are about to witness a major move towards a cashless society. Now, over in the EU, things are moving very fast. That's why I always say, we're going to see a CBDC happen over there. We'll see what life is like under a CBDC before it ever comes out in the US. Under the pretext of fighting money laundering and terrorist financing, the European Union will be entirely outlawing all cash payments greater than 10,000 euros. By limiting large cash payments, the EU will make it harder for criminals to launder dirty money. An EU-wide maximum limit of 10,000 is set for cash payments. Member states will have the flexibility to impose a lower minimum limit if they wish. So they're already saying, if you want to make the limit lower, go ahead. They want to push everything towards cashless. That's the way the world is moving right now. But it comes right out of this guy's playbook. World Economic Forum comes into focus now. On the left, you can see founder of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. On the right, his father, intimate confidant of Hitler, the industrialist and fascist Eugene Schwab, in uniform. Klaus was born in Hitler's Germany in 1938. I feel Klaus had a very bad childhood, and now he wants to take it out on the entire world. Why else would you ever come up with any of these ideas? Look at what he wants the world to become. A world that is under his control. Then there's this. Now, I like Elon Musk. I like his free speech outlook for Twitter. I like a lot of things he has to say. But then you take a look at something like this and you kind of second guess Elon a little bit. So Professor Klaus Schwab and Elon Musk have a lot in common. Carbon tax. Why carbon tax is crucial to curbing climate change, World Economic Forum says. Elon says it is high time there was a carbon tax. Universal basic income. 4 reasons cities should embrace universal basic income. Elon says, as a reminder, I'm in favor of a universal basic income. Myrna injections. 3 tactics to overcome COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy. Elon says, to be clear, I do support vaccines in general, and COVID vaccines specifically. The science is unequivocal. Transhumanism. Would you let your employer implant a microchip in your hand? These workers have. Elon says creating a neural lace is the thing that really matters for humanity to achieve symbiosis with machines. But then this happened, which gave me a whole different look at Elon. Do you really call out this punk bish Klaus Schwab? If so, thank you. Could you also make him eat bugs and own nothing? Elon Musk just exposed Klaus Schwab. He called him a liar. So maybe early on, Elon's thinking was in line with the World Economic Forum. But over the past few years, I feel he's breaking away from those thinkings. But this guy is right on board with anything Klaus says. Bill Gates. Again, the left torments Elon Musk for supporting free speech, and this guy is speaking at the G20 with World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. He's not an engineer, never finished college, not a doctor, not an epidemiologist, not a virologist, unelected, visited Epstein's pedo island countless times, documented thief, owns virus patents, owns vaccine companies. And this guy is probably one of the absolute worst. Jacinda Ardern partners with Bill Gates to roll out digital IDs, and he's most likely going to be the one to push digital IDs here in the US as well. New World Order agenda. It's called climate hypocrisy. The elite fly private jets, cruise on yachts, build mansions by the ocean, own luxury cars, dine on the finest meat. Meanwhile, they demand that you travel on bikes, live in a pod, stop driving cars, eat the bugs, and own nothing. And it's such a hypocritical world we live in. You see John Kerry flying all around the world while he's pushing for climate change. It's disgusting. China reveals digital yuan with expiration date where people are forced to spend and not allowed to save. CBDCs are slavery. And that's what they want. They don't want you saving any kind of money. They don't want you owning anything in the future. You look at China right now, and that's going to be the future throughout the entire world if something isn't done to stop this. Celebrating my third month going cash only with the words of my man TJ here, warning us about CBDC from the past. Pay heed and wise up. Canada, use cash. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent that their fathers conquered. Thomas Jefferson, 1802. When you look back in history, a lot of people seen what's coming today. They probably would have been called visionaries back then. Look at JFK. He tried to point out what's going on right now with the New World Order. Look where that got him. And the thing is, anytime you talk to someone outside of crypto about this, they think you're a conspiracy theorist or they think you're trying to sell them crypto. But you have to get people to wake up to this somehow, some way. I tell people all the time about CBDCs. They didn't even know it's coming. How many people do you know that a CBDC is coming? And again, I tell them, go to the .gov website. It's right on there. They're pointing out, listen, this is a central bank digital currency. This is where the United States is headed in the near future. But it's hard for a lot of people to see it. And a lot of people are really beholden to the US dollar, to paper cash, because cash was always king. That's how I know a lot of people are going to fight back to not go digital. And a lot of people will end up broke because of it. They'll never convert their cash to digital, and their cash will become worthless in the end. Just in, U.S. Federal Reserve raises interest rates by 0.5%. To the highest level in 15 years. It looks like Klaus Schwab got his way and they are pushing for the Great Reset. You don't accidentally kill the economy this badly, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to kill the current financial system. And the New York Fed completes the first phase of test on a US dollar CBDC. So the Fed is pushing for the same thing. I had hopes that Jerome Powell was trying to really go slow about this. I wanted him to take time so laws could possibly get put in place before a CBDC even rolls out here in the US. There's a reason why the Fed, along with every major bank and hedge fund like BlackRock from Wall Street to China, are buying up massive amounts of gold and silver. CBDC will be backed by the US dollar, which will be backed by gold and silver, and it's done. And I feel that the whole world is heading towards a gold-backed system. Remember, you didn't get to vote on COVID lockdowns, mask mandates, vaccine passports. Nobody voted for Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Bill Gates, Fauci, or Birx. The World Economic Forum's young global leaders who've infiltrated governments all over the world. The Great Reset was never voted on, but they got the right people in power. That's why this whole thing is pushing forward. That's why CBDCs are getting built in every single country throughout the world right now. He is all in with the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset. Do you think he's looking forward to owning nothing and being happy? He won't. Soros-backed group advised Biden admin that Clean Air Act could be used to control or prohibit gasoline. And that's the other thing. They're pushing everything towards an EV. Look at Ford. After your lease is up, you don't even have the option to buy your car out because they're on board with the World Economic Forum as well. Soros, look how old this guy is. He wants to get all this put in place, and what? Then he's going to drop over, and we're stuck living under this system that these people created? And most likely, Soros is an evil. He's not just evil, he's probably very unhappy. The border, economic chaos, weakening the military, energy depletion, Afghanistan chaotic pullout, cities victims to crime. Could you wreck a country faster, and why? One world order, Great Reset? When does someone inform and wake up the U.S. citizen? Dems and GOP, why not you? And it's both sides. It's Democrats and Republicans. And this country, I mean, you take a look around. Look at the crime going on right now. They're causing chaos. They're causing distractions. They're keeping you divided all the time. You can't get along with somebody that watches CNN if you watch Fox News, and vice versa. Because the people that watch CNN, they get fed one story, and the people that watch Fox get another story, and it keeps everyone divided all the time. You need to learn to get along in the US and fight back against this. Do you realize that XRP is the World Economic Forum coin? Now, a lot of people are still pushing the idea that you should sell your XRP and buy Bitcoin to avoid, living under a CBDC. But the thing is, I'm going to continue to hold my XRP because I feel that if you become rich, and I've said this many times on this channel, if you become rich when a CBDC rolls out, your life could be a lot different than if you're poor. All working out perfectly for XRP to be the first regulated bridge asset for the first US CBDC. Now, we know XRP is definitely going to be used to move money from one CBDC to another, and it has to be at a high value. Central banks globally have accumulated gold reserves this year at a pace never seen since 1967, when the US dollar was still backed by the precious metal. And a lot of people feel that XRP needs to be backed by gold as well. But the thing is, I feel that it has to be able to move the value of gold. Both those graphics make perfect sense when you consider them from that perspective. Gold-backed national currencies trading against tokenized assets in the XRP ledger. AMM polls would create the scenario where XRP would mirror the value of gold, so it would still be at a very high value. That's why I'm going to continue holding my XRP. But when you take a look at what's really going on in this world right now, you could see how they're pushing the whole New World Order agenda. Look at everything about climate change going on all the time, and there's massive amounts of money getting spent into that as well, all pushing towards collapsing the current financial system at the same time. I still feel that the US dollar is going to really start to plummet at some point. At that point, crypto is going to take off, all of crypto. And Bitcoin's going to take off as well. That could push Bitcoin into some sort of super cycle if that happens. That's where people are coming up with these ideas where Bitcoin could possibly reach $200,000 or more. That can very well happen because this whole system has to pretty much go to zero at some point, this current financial system. Then when that happens, they're going to have to usher in the new system. And when they do, that's when XRP will absolutely go full on parabolic. On-demand liquidity is going to be needed in every single country throughout the world, almost like a flip of the switch moment. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I just like to keep people awake to what's going on around the Great Reset, because this whole thing is still pushing forward on a daily basis, and it's moving very fast. But with that said, we'll see you in the next one. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. Have a great night.